this is a video on how to create the train engine assembly. So the first thing we're going to do is click on New, Standard.iam, which is an assembly. We're going to click on Place. Now to select all, we're going to left click, go to the bottom, and shift click. Now on to personal preference, I don't want to use the train track or the curve track just yet, so I'm going to control left click to deselect, and open. Alright, so the first annoying thing that I see is that we have our planes and work axis visible on the wheel. So to change that, we're going to right click, click open, and just turn the visibility off. Turning the visibility off in the part screen will make it happen to all consecutive parts. Looks good. I'm going to Control S to save and exit out. And you can see it's gone, thankfully. Alright, so I'm going to start with the simplest first. Hit constrain. And we've used the flush and the opposing constraint. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the insert constraint. The insert constraints for only circular faces. And you'll see as we click on one circular face here and one circular face here, it makes that lovely noise. I'm going to deselect rotational. And you notice that the train engine is turning 90 degrees. We want the train engine to remain still, so we're going to right click and click grounded. So now we're going to go back to constrain, click insert, click here, and here. Makes that lovely noise, and you can see that the two circles are now aligned, both radially and axially, meaning their center lines are aligned and they're both on the same level. So I'm going to left click drag, and you see we can still rotate it. Now we want this to be fixed, so we're going to click constrain. We're going to click on insert once more. I'm going to click on this little half arc here and this pig right here. We can click apply, or we'll actually click OK here. Apply won't close the tool, OK will. So we click OK, and we can see that it's not rotating anymore. Alright. The next simplest thing to do is the hitch. So we're going to click on insert, you guessed it. We're going to click on this circular face here and this circular face here. And click apply. We're going to click on this circular face here and this circular face here. And click apply. Alright. So instead of clicking apply every time, we can right click and go up here to click apply, or we can just hold the right click down and drag up. So I'm gonna click here, or actually I'm gonna click at the bottom. Now there is a chamfer on this, so we have to be careful that we're selecting the bottommost ring and not this ring, because that will give us a different result. So we're going to click on the bottommost ring and the bottommost ring of this pocket here. And now instead of going over here to click apply, I'm just going to right click and move my mouse up. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this ring here. And because it's black, it's pretty hard to see, but we're going to click on this ring right here, your innermost ring. Now you can see this is the wrong direction, so like mate, you can flip it. So I'm going to flip it. And that looks very much better. I'm going to click, right click and drag up instead of clicking there. And I'm going to escape. And now I'm going to Control C and Control V while selecting both of these, and that will actually copy the constraint. So I'm going to click on Insert. I'm going to click on this right here. And this right here. Click Apply. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. There we are. I'm going to copy this, so we have two of these. I'm going to click on Insert, and now clicking on either here or here will give us the same result. I just like here. No reason. And I'm going to click here, I think. Yes. Now I'm going to click Apply. I'm going to click here, and here, and Apply. I'm going to move this closer so we can see it, so I don't have to move around every time I want to constrain it. I'm going to click on Insert. I'm going to click here and here. Apply, here and here, and I'm going to right click and drag up for Apply. And I'm just going to give this a little spin. You can see that we have some issues. Now, if a real train happened, that would end in a big explosion. So let's fix that. So let's click on Constrain. Let's click on Angle. And let's click on this solution right here, which only requires 2 inputs. We're going to click on here. And we're going to click on our XZ plane, expanding our origin. Make sure to deselect that. I have that enabled for previous operation, never had that enabled. Unless you know what you're doing. And let's set it to 0. And let's click Apply. And now you'll see that we don't have that problem and our train thankfully won't explode. Alright, so I'm going to select all of these components by holding down Shift and left click. There's probably an easier way to do this, but alright, Control C and Control V. Let's click on Constrain once more. Click on Insert, click here, and here. Right. Here, and here. And you can see that we didn't copy over our angular constraint. If we go in here, you'll see there's no angular, but if we go in our first linkage arm, here, you'll see there is a angular constraint. So let's just do that manually. Here and here, make sure it's directed, make sure we have that disabled, which we do, and XZ, and OK. And you can see that it's remaining parallel to the XZ plane. Now we want both wheels to actually rotate at the same time, and we want them to be synchronized. So we're going to click on both of our 2 front wheels, and I'm just going to right click and click Collapse All Children on our assembly, just so it's a little bit more condensed. You can see everything. If you don't know which wheel this is, you can right click on it and you can click on Find in Browser, and you will see it highlights wheel 4. We can click plus. I don't know which wheel this is. It's wheel 2, and we'll click plus. Click Constrain, click on our origin, click on our origin, click on our X, I think, yes, our our XZ plane or XY, either one. As long as they're the same, it doesn't matter. And our XY. And we could either do an angular or a flush constraint. I'll just do a flush. And you can now see that I lied to you. Let's try out one of those. That's better, not flush mate. And you can see that our wheels are rotating together. It's a little hard to see from this angle, but that's better. All right. So I'm going to right click collapse all children, and I'm going to unconstrain our body. I'm just going to move it over here, outside out of mine. I'm going to click on place component. Now we're going to place our straight track. I don't think we use our curved track. I don't think at least. We're going to click on open. And instead of just left clicking immediately, we're going to right click, click place grounded at origin. Choked on that one. And you can see it's grounded and it's at our origin, just like the button said. Now we're going to get constraining. So one of our problems is that when we made this piece, I don't know, when someone made this piece, they didn't add in a mid-plane. And we need a mid-plane to constrain it. So we're going to click on plane, click on mid-plane between two planes, and we're going to click on the outer plane and this plane. And now we have a plane cutting right down the middle. I don't really want to see that, so I'm going to right-click visibility, or I'm just going to click Alt-V. Or I'm just going to click visibility. I guess Alt-V doesn't work. Now we're going to use that midplane. One thing, you see the lightning bolt, it means that there's changes in another part, and the assembly doesn't have them. So I'm going to click on Update, and now this will have a midplane. You can see it right there. We're going to click on Assemble, Constrain, for plane 1, which is our midplane from our train track. Go to our engine body, plus on origin, and our YZ plane. And flush mate doesn't make a difference. I like flush more though. And you can see now that no matter which way our train goes, it's constrained here. But our problem is that it can move all around here, and we don't particularly want that. So the next thing we are going to do, I think, so we're going to click on Constrain. We are going to click on Transitional, I think. No, I lied. We're going to click on Assembly. We're going to click on Mate. We're going to click on this face right here and the bottom face of our train. And in my infinite wisdom, I know that this dimension is 0.375. And we are going to click OK. Now that looks better. And the very last thing we're going to do, I think, is we're going to click on Constrain, Motion, and we're going to click on this constraint right here, Rotation Translation. And that's going to make it so our wheels rotate as we move on the track. So you can see that little rotating arrow. I don't know what to call that. That means that the wheel, we're applying the rotational half of our constraint. I'm going to click Apply, which I did accidentally, but hey, not apply. I'm going to click left click, and I'm going to click on this face right here. You can see there's no little rotational arrow. That's the translation half of our constraint of our rotation translation constraint. I misclicked, so I'm going to click on second selection, and I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to click OK. And you can now see that our wheels are moving. They're moving, they're synchronized, they're not going into any weird angles, and I'd say that's a pretty decent train. So that's going to be the end of our train project. Yay.